All right, y'all ready to go?
Yeah,
How
like
are
your
you?
I'm
love
doing
your
well. How are
color.
you?
Your
Good.
colors
Thank
are
you.
fantastic. Hi.
Tried to make it nice. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got John Lacy and Rachel Bailit talking about Everyone Asked About You, which comes to VOD and digital on October 28, 2025. It is a raw drama about the cost of stardom and the sins of Hollywood and kind of the journey that one person takes. Has a great cast, a really wonderful style, and I actually kind of liked the ending. I liked how it kind of bucked some Hollywood trends. So I'm excited to talk to you both, and thanks so much for joining me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Of course.
Excited.
So, first question, John, you wrote this story. What horrible things are you trying to atone for? What are you trying to talk about?
Wow. Yeah, that's the first. No, this is not a confessional. It's really just I've been doing this for a long time, and I love what I do, and I love this industry, and I love the city of Los Angeles, and I've met so many great people and worked with so many great people. But I'm also aware and conscious of the industry at large and what goes on, and I've seen some bad behavior. I've heard of horror stories, and of course, we all hear the things that either make it on a documentary like Showbiz Kids or Quiet on Set or Harvey Weinstein. We're all aware of these things, but Hollywood isn't going to tackle this kind of honest subject matter. There's obviously plenty of films about Hollywood and about making films, and even cautionary tales that say, what a dark town it can be. But the way children have been treated over the years, the neglect, the lifestyle that they are thrust into without much mentoring or supervision, and of course, we all know that the casting couch reality, which people just kind of laugh at and roll their eyes at as if it's just inevitable and a way of doing business, is not right, and it's shameful, and people deserve more respect than to be treated like bartering chips. So that was something I just really wanted to attack, and in doing so, wanting to tell it with a style and with a certain unique flavor that I have from the films that inspire me. And Rachel and I became a couple about 3 years ago, right when the ideas were kicking around. Of course, we're right after Me Too and COVID and all that nonsense. And I found the right actress and wrote the script and the role of Simone Deville for her. And it's a work of art that we're very proud of. But I'm glad you were able to watch it, and I hope it worked for you because it's an important film, and I feel very, very proud of sharing it with people now, and hope that it prompts discussions.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I love how method you both are, that you became a couple just so you could research this like
No,
film
of course, yeah.
director,
She
star,
doesn't know that yet.
dynamic.
That was supposed to be between you and me.
Just so into your craft.
Yeah,
We're very,
very.
very much in love.
So I guess Rachel, did you know about this project as John was writing it? Did you,
I did. I
contribute to
did.
it, and did you know you were going to be Simone in this movie?
I did, and yes, yes, yes. And I do feel I contributed to it. And I had little wish lists. One was to sing in the film with John, which he made that possible. For sure, John had already seen my work and had heard my stories. I've been an actress for a long time in Hollywood and been subjected to some pretty bad behavior. And I think John knew that this was in me. He also knew that I have a wild imagination, had seen my one woman show, and knew that I loved to delve into characters and other, just a vast way to express myself. Completely honored that John would trust me with this role. And we'd never worked together before, and we shot all our scenes in one or two takes.
Oh wow, that's
We
awesome.
we clicked on and off screen. Happy to
Yeah.
say.
Did you both meet in the way that Simone meets Jack on like a Hollywood set? Some, wisecracking,
Our,
slick
our,
guy.
our
I
meeting
wish.
story is very funny, but with 20 minutes, I don't think we have time. But we have a very funny story of how we kind of started sitting and having coffee, and then one thing led to the next. So there was a miscommunication and a misidentification that was kind of funny. But no, there was no pickup. There was nothing smooth. It's actually the opposite of that. It was actually me rejecting an idea of directing her in a play.
Very
Oh
awkward.
wow.
And it turns out she was looking for another John Lacy that she'd heard about. So kind of funny, but.
Very funny, but it took us a couple coffees, and then John invited me. What was our first film we saw?
Rosebud Lane, my last film, was at the Culver City Film Festival, and Rachel was without a vehicle at the time, and
Just for
was comfortable
fun.
enough to just hit me up and say, "Hey, I know you're at the festival tonight. Can I get a ride with you?" And I said,
Yeah, yeah.
"Okay,
The rest is
I need
history.
all the audience I can get. So hop in, hop."
I love it. I love it.
Off we went to the Howard Hughes Center to watch Rosebud Lane, and she was very complimentary of the film, which made me feel good. And
Yeah, I really had no ulterior motives. Yeah, except it was Friday night and I wanted to go see a good movie.
when she said I'm her new favorite director, it was kind of fait accompli.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, have you seen the surge prices on Friday night in LA? Like, of course she's gonna like. There's no way she could make that with Uber. So yeah.
Right?
Exactly,
Exactly.
pretty bad.
You saved me $100 at least.
And the rest is history. So, these characters are, drawn from Hollywood experiences. Did you draw from your own experiences personally for this, or did you, read? I mean, I guess we've all read about some of the scandals, some of the things that happened. How did you kind of
Well,
create your characters? And we'll start with you, Rachel. How did you create
yeah,
Simone, or how did you build
yeah,
her?
it was a no-brainer. I mean, I just can't believe since the moment I arrived in Hollywood, how many of these things have happened to me. And then, even in the last 5 years, it's insane. I think it happens to people, and I don't say just women, people in all industries, all walks of life. And so I hope we're shedding some light on that. So for me, it's very personal, and it seems to be a theme in my work, identifying as a woman, standing up for how I want to be treated, how I want women to be treated, whether it's through an art gallery opening I had, my one woman show. It's finding my voice. I felt so disempowered, and um, John will talk to this hierarchy of power in this town, which is really unfair.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about the inspiration for the roles, but if you'd like me to talk about this, the wretched misogyny that goes on. Writing Simone was very much kind of a mixture of Blanche Dubois for sure, Mabel from A Woman of the Influence, and even Norma Desmond. The original script was structured very much like Sunset Boulevard.
I was
Uh,
wondering about that. It had like with Deville and all that. I was wondering if it was Sunset Boulevard.
It had the original script had a lot of that, and then once it became very nonlinear and jumbled up and thrown into a blender as I was writing it, knowing that much of the film was going to be conceptualized in the editing room, it took on a different form. But it really takes the right actress to play a character that has a sense of schizophrenia from the career that they've had of being a child actor and blurring the lines and going in and out of reality and wondering where she is sometimes. I don't think it's all that uncommon, especially if you have some trauma and you're triggered by things and maybe even something starts to happen with your brain chemistry or whatever the case may be. And we never wanted to go into a place with Simone where she had something that she needed medication for or something that was clinically diagnosed. We made a pointed a decision to stay away from that and just show that she's someone that's damaged and has been mistreated and abused in a variety of ways. And now with this new station in her career, she's got this partner who betrays her ultimately in a way that she can't come back from. But that schizophrenic aspect, I mean, you really need an actress as talented as Rachel Bailit to pull that off, especially with our schedule and limitations of the amount of time we can spend belaboring things. So our preparation, the improv, the role playing we did really paid off, and then a great crew and a great supporting team. But you'd be pretty shocked at how efficient we were. We were a well-oiled machine, and it required the actors to really show up and know exactly what the temperature of each scene was and what they were doing and what their role meant in the macro. And Rachel just knocked it out of the park. I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah, it helps when you have 1 to 2 takes. When you have that limited time, one to two take sessions is a godsend, I'm sure.
A lot of actors will tell you especially with everyone doing self tapes now, they'll do 10, 15, 20 takes. And I coach a lot of those things and they send them to me. The first or second one were the best anyway. They just were. They were the liveliest, they were the freshest, they were the ones that had some energy and some life, and then things get more and more technical the more you go. Now there's the other side of the coin also. You can continue doing things and have all sorts of discoveries, but you really just that's a luxury to be able just to shoot all day. It's a luxury we didn't have, and most independent filmmakers don't. But yeah, I think trusting your gut that you're getting it, and the actors also know when they're good.
Mhm.
We know when we just did something that was truthful, and because it feels right. We're in the feeling business. It's all about emotions, and actors are in tune with their emotions, and we know when we're good. You don't need to go and watch playback to validate that.
Yeah, definitely. And you also threw in an additional wrench here with having like some different cinematic styles. What was it like? I guess was the film always envisioned to have kind of like a noir background and then some, modern day kind of scenes, or did that come about as you were just kind of planning it out and
So it
getting
was
the
all
story
baked
told?
in. All baked in. Our cinematographer, Dennis Maloney, is the first union cinematographer I've used in the three films I've made. So not just union, but experienced. Actually been in the industry longer than Rachel and I. So we're talking about someone who's done a lot of work, and we had the same vocabulary. So when I approached Dennis and we started discussing the script, every reference I gave him, he ran with it. He knew exactly whether it was Tarkovsky, whether it was Godard, Truffaut, obviously Cassavetes, Robert Altman, Hal Ashby, you name it, whoever it was that we talked about, we were talking the same language. And then we just went through a bunch of films and chose images that we really thought would work for different scenes. A lot of the bungalow stuff, spend that much time in one location in a picture, you really run the risk of redundancy and kind of revealing to the viewer that you're on a limited budget and you shot here just because you couldn't afford anywhere else. So it has to be visually stimulating at all times. So every time we cut back to the bungalow, we had a new tableau set up, a new camera set up, composition drawn from whether it's Tarkovsky's Stalker or Godard or Truffaut, and also literary references to Joan Didion's Play It As It Lays was a huge influence for the film in terms of the female plight in Hollywood and how much soul searching has to be done to make the compromises. So everything you're saying was very much premeditated and baked into the script.
That's awesome. And one thing I'm curious about with a film that's kind of told a little bit out of order, it kind of has flashbacks and things like that. Did you film this, I guess, kind of chronologically, or how did you go about filming where you have different time periods and things popping back and forth throughout?
Well, Rachel can speak to what we did in the bungalow because that was, it's 40% of the story. So
Yeah, I mean, the bungalow, we shot how many days here? 4 days here?
Oh wow,
3.5 days
that's
here.
not that many days.
Yeah, I know. Well, when you figure you only shot for 14, um, it's a lot of your days. And we did have to get some locations, but our budget was pretty low on this film. You'd be very surprised. We're actually going up for the John Cassavetes Award for the Spirit Awards. And we actually are a Cassavetes budgeted production.
he find it amusing that the criteria to qualify for Cassavetes is 1 million and under. He would probably think that's pretty funny because he rarely had that much money.
Well, I mean, with inflation these days, but yeah, that does seem like a fairly high amount for
Yeah,
a
but to
small
answer your
film.
question, we had to shoot out of order, obviously. So much so that the dinner party, the two dinner party scenes, one of them is really a backyard barbecue that then becomes another flashback, which is the dinner party scene where that was our first day of shooting, and it was a full month before we started shooting again
Oh wow.
because we didn't have any money. We shot those two scenes because that was the day we'd have the most people. It was the biggest circus that we had to assemble. And lo and behold, money came after that day. And it was because of how we ran things and what we demonstrated and the goodwill that we had moving forward with all these people. The money then revealed itself, which is often the case for indie films. Put it up on the track and get it going, and things will start to happen. But thinking that you can get your entire shooting budget in place and then set up a really cohesive shooting schedule, I haven't been able to work that way yet. I've had to just kind of go with the faith of putting it on the tracks and trusting that things will fall into place.
That is a big risk. I'm glad it paid out. Yeah, that is huge that you started filming and then kind of like trusted that everything would come as the filming progressed.
And it
Um,
did.
I know we have limited time. I know you have a busy day, so I'm going to switch to a lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. Well, as lightweight as they can be given this film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I will not be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Hit us with your best shot.
All right, first question. Simone was a beauty pageant star. Did either of you, I guess, more Rachel, did you do beauty contests or did you do like some sort of talent shows growing up as a kid? Did you have some sort of competitions that your parents gently forced you to do?
No, my parents encouraged me to do everything in the arts and a lot of backyard shows for them. But no, I never competed for any such thing.
All right. What about you? What about you, John?
No, not at all. Some of that was drawn from Michael Ritchie's film called Smile, which is all about beauty pageants, and there were some things in there that I lifted out because I thought they were so funny and really so odd for little for kids that are being put on display. But no, I was not a beauty pageant. Nor was I a musical theater kid or anything like that. I was very much a jock and wanted to be a sports journalist growing up. So the Hollywood bug didn't hit me until my early 20s.
All right. Well, it's better late than never. It
Yeah.
seems like Simone could have used a lot of therapy in this movie. Do either of you go to therapy or have been to therapy?
Oh, I absolutely have been to therapy. Unfortunately, as a child, maybe sharing too much, but lost a sibling as a child. And so my
Oh my
parents were
gosh, that's
very
terrible.
pro. It was terrible. They're very pro therapy. And my stepmother's a therapist. She'll hear this. And so they thought therapy was the answer. I think really talking to each other would have been the answer. And I think as my parents got older, we all were able to evolve to a place where we could do that. But personally, I think therapy is very helpful, but I also think you can talk yourself in circles. So you have to find the right therapist. So go therapy, just find the right one.
No comment.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Think Sopranos. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So this film has an audition in a hotel. What is the strangest place that you have auditioned in the strangest location that you've auditioned at?
Wow. There have been some very odd places.
Back in the day when they were seeing us in person, you'd go to homes sometimes
Mm.
and not know necessarily what you were walking into. Suddenly you felt like you were in a David Lynch film in a backyard setting. And you're walking around, and the other actors are kind of wandering around, talking to themselves. But anything odd, more bizarre than a home? Not really. I mean, no,
Yeah, yeah, I got some kind
maybe
of
an ice rink.
get some kind of yicky stuff,
You know,
where it was a meeting and then I can remember I was so young when I started. I can remember a director asking me, "Well, I need to see your walk." And
Oh
it's just
wow.
so gratuitous.
Yeah.
And then I remember, oh God, yeah, it was so out of line what he asked me to do. There was no nudity, but it was not like he didn't really need to see the character walk. So a lot of stuff like that, meetings that, are supposed to take place over dinners and things like that, soft auditions. Fortunately I'm okay, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people really did compromise themselves greatly and they have a hard time having to live with themselves. Um, i i think that in terms of weird places, doing commercials, yeah, sometimes they ask you, they actually put you in rinks or put you in they want to see your odd habits, or I don't know. I think that actors will go anywhere for an audition. I think a hotel room obviously would scare you off at this point, but um it's a very strange industry and it could be legit. Who knows? That's what I think. We all hold that hope up that it
Yeah.
could be legit. You never know. But a warning to parents, you really have to take care of your kids, and a warning to young actors that never go anywhere alone, and protect yourself.
Exactly. All good lessons to know and all things that are shown in the movie. And the last question, Simone gets recognized for her roles as, when she was a younger actor. Is there any role that you consistently get recognized for? Anything that people stop you on the street to see and talk about?
No, not now, but when I was on General Hospital for a short time, and I did get noticed for that. With my-
That's awesome.
yeah.
I get a lot of "Don't I Know You from Somewhere," which is very common for character actors that have been around as long as I have. Maybe my Criminal Minds. I did a two-part Criminal Minds, and that show has an enormous fan base. People just love that subject matter, I guess. I've done some high-profile TV commercials over the years where people can spot me, but even then, they don't really know where they can't place it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that anonymity. I
Yeah.
mean,
No, definitely. Do I know you from somewhere? At least kind of leaves it open and lets you kind of like start the
Then it
conversation.
sometimes gets a little weird. Were we roommates in college?
You can mess with them.
We used to work with
So the
that.
film is coming to VOD and digital on October 28th, 2025. You were out promoting the word, getting the word out for this film. But after people see everyone asks about you, is there anything they can look for next from either of you? Any projects on the horizon? And we'll start with you, John.
I've got a few films as an actor coming out, one called Bull Run, one called The Gardener, one called The Weight of Darkness. All three will be available somewhere soon, and I'm proud of all three of those. Developing another film with the talented Rachel Bailit that we're really excited about. That's in a not I can't say it's in a similar world, but similar sandbox in terms of an LA story. Then I've got a bigger budget project happening back in Minnesota that I'm really excited about as writer director.
That's
Yeah.
great. So excited. Well, I definitely have those and the Minnesota one. But I do have a film, 8 Days to Cabo, that should be releasing somewhat soon. We just had a screening. And I'm most excited about this next film. It has a working title of Declined right now. So that's all I can say. And we're beginning
Good.
production in early January. So it's soon.
Oh wow. Yeah, there we go. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
a great role for Rachel Bailit.
I'm so grateful.
that's awesome. Well, you can wait for both of the for all those projects. You can look forward to all those. But first, check out Everyone Asks About You coming to VOD and digital on October 28th, 2025. This is John Lacy and Rachel Bailit. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Fantastic. Love the lightning
Thanks.
round.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
That
like
was
to
fresh.
I
I
thought it
like
was
to
going
mix it
to be
up because everyone gets the same questions all the time. So I like to have some, different fun
No,
stuff
yours,
at the end.
your interview was completely fresh. Loved it
yeah,
all.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you.
really
Thanks for
good.
watching the movie.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Take care.